Gavin and I met in 2005. We had lots of years on our own. We always talked about starting a family, but just never really felt the right time. We had nice holidays and stuff. Then we decided, we've been together a long time, that's not going to change, and let's just see what happens. We were really lucky, got pregnant very quickly, within a couple of months. That was in the start of 2013. We were absolutely delighted to find out we were going to have a baby. We went for a few scans that weren't very clear, but because I'm a bigger lady, I just put it down to that. Then we went for our 20-week scan. I was just under 21 weeks at the time. And Gavin could obviously see the screen. I was lying on the bed. We knew the heartbeat was there. We thought everything's fine. And then the sonographer said we have to get someone else to come into the room. The senior sonographer then came in. She had a look around for a while. I could see Gavin was getting very worried. And he was obviously getting quite emotional, and I was still, just in denial, I guess, thinking everything will be fine, it's just because I'm fat. And then the sonographer took my hand and told us that there was serious issues with our baby. At the same point, when we were in the room, we could hear another couple getting a scan, their relation, to hear they were having a baby boy. It just felt so surreal at the time. Our world just collapsed. And then we got taken up to early pregnancy. Obviously, just so many thoughts going through our heads. We had no idea what the future held. At that stage, I guess we thought, they'll be able to do something. In this day and age, medical science, there'll be something that can help our baby. Nothing much really happened at early pregnancy. We then got an appointment for a consultant the next day. Thankfully, one of my friends is a midwife at St John's, so I was sending her just random texts and things, just looking for a bit of support, because you just have so many thoughts going through your head that, you just can't begin to imagine unless you're in that situation. So that was a great help, and she came along to the appointment with us the next day to meet the consultant. The consultant scanned me again, basically told us that our baby's organs were on the outside of his body. Well, we didn't know it was a boy at the time, actually. They couldn't tell the sex of the baby. The organs were on the outside of the body. I think she thought there was fluid around his brain. Lots of issues. And she basically told us the baby wouldn't survive till term. Recommended a termination. Although I'm pro-choice, I never dreamed for 1 second I would ever be in the situation that I would be contemplating terminating my own baby. The next day we had to go to the Royal in Edinburgh for a second opinion. Met with the consultant there. She scanned me again, confirmed everything, basically told us our baby had a condition incompatible with life. We were pleading, there must be something you can do, you've got to help us. But she basically said the baby is very unlikely to survive to term, and even if the baby did survive to term, wouldn't survive. At that stage, my only concern was my baby suffering. She reassured me at the time that my baby wouldn't be suffering at that stage, but if I did continue with the pregnancy, there was that potential that we would, if the baby survived to term, we'd see our baby suffer. Even if they didn't survive to term, they may suffer in the womb. For me, that was a decision made. I didn't want to bring any unnecessary suffering to my baby. We basically agreed there and then to terminate the pregnancy. So it was the hardest decision we've ever made. You've got so many questions in your mind, even to this day. It'll be 4 years in July. I've still got all the what ifs. Did I do the right thing? But anyway, I took the tablet, and then we had to go home for 2 days. We were booked to go into St John's 2 days later. Had to go in through the maternity ward, so we knew why we were there. We weren't going to go home with our baby. Could hear lots of babies crying, all the happiness around us that there should be in a maternity ward. We knew we wouldn't have that. So it felt like an eternity when we were waiting there. And then we were shown to the family room, which was an amazing space, to be honest, especially under the circumstances, because you couldn't really hear the hustle and bustle that was going outside. It was quite a calming environment. It meant that Gavin could be with me the whole time. He could, well, we weren't really going to sleep, but you know, if we had to get our head down, there was space for him as well, because quite often dads are left out. So I was so grateful for that. I was induced. I don't know how we got through that. Gavin was amazing, he supported me. The staff were really good as well. My friend that I spoke about earlier, who's a midwife, came in. She wasn't working, she came in as a friend just to check how I was. In my vulnerable state, I asked her if she would mind staying, and she was there when our son was born, which was just amazing. When he was born, it was a wee boy. When he was born, we already knew his name. He was going to be Findlay Francis McMillan, always. If he was a boy, we had no girls' names picked out, so we were really happy in that respect. And it was just so strange, the conflicting emotions. We were so happy, we were parents, but at the same time we were devastated because, you know, our baby was dead. What still pains me to this day is, you know, he never opened his eyes. I don't know what colour his eyes were. Given, you know, I assumed they would be blue like me and his daddy. But, you know, I'll never know for sure. It was just perfect, you know. I was really scared about meeting my baby as well, because I was only 21 plus 3. I had all these horrific thoughts in my head. I was thinking, you know, will he be a baby? Will it look like an alien? Will it scare me? Do you know, it sounds irrational, but it's the thoughts that was going through my head at the time. I was just terrified. But his wee face, he was just perfectly formed. Other than his body, we could see his organs, we could see how sick he was, which I guess in some ways it was maybe a bit of a comfort to know that we had done the right thing for him. You know, we got to spend the night with him, because we had a cuddle cot in the room with us. That time, you know, we'll never get back. It felt strange to be taking pictures, you know, do we smile, do we not smile? But then we knew it was our only opportunity, that was our family pictures, so, you know, we're smiling through our heartbreak, really. We got a wee gift from Sands as well, Sands Lothians, a wee photo frame and a wee candle. We got a memory box from Simba, and, you know, these things are just so precious to this day. When we left the hospital, we didn't have our baby with us, so, you know, to have, you know, hand and footprints, just precious memories, they just mean the world to us. And we were lucky in the respect that we went back to the hospital a couple of days later, and that happened to be when the medical photographer was coming to take pictures of Findlay. I was going back because I hadn't been signed off completely for the doctors, otherwise our baby would have had all these pictures taken without us there, which I feel so lucky we had the opportunity to be there. So again, we've got like so many more memories. When, you know, we just felt alone. I knew of Sands Lothians because one of my friends had a stillborn baby. And my naivety, I thought, oh, that they're not for people like me. I didn't know if I'd be accepted. How wrong I was. Oh, honestly, how wrong I was. They've got loads of closed Facebook groups, and I got chatting to Nicola. She was the West Lothian coordinator at the time, and she was just so welcoming from the offset, you know. She understood, which was amazing. And she arranged for a befriender to come and see me, because although we had said goodbye to Findlay at the hospital, we still had his funeral. ahead of us. Again, because it's only one of very few memories you have with your baby, we wanted to make sure it was perfect. We didn't want to have any regrets. So when my befriender came round, you know, I was able to, she was very open about her baby's funeral as well, and just able to ask for ideas what she had done. I got some ideas from other mums I'd met through Sans Lothians and Simba and the close groups as well. And, you know, when the funeral day came, again, it was one of the hardest of our lives. But it was just as perfect as it could have been for our boy. You know, we just wanted everything to be as perfect as it could be. And I don't think I have any regrets. I still have wee doubts that I wasn't the last person to tuck him in, because the funeral director advised me not to. Whether that was the right thing to do or not, I'll never know, but at the time I had to trust her and protect myself, I guess. But as a mum, that feels quite a selfish decision to make. But I know he'll understand. I know he'll forgive me for it. We put lots of things in the coffin with him as well, so I put a lock of my hair in and stuff like that, so he had a wee bit with me, a wee bit of me with him. So yeah, just absolutely devastating. After the funeral, we went to a Sans meeting, a group meeting, and, you know, to sit in a room and not feel like a big dark cloud, you know, because people don't know what to say to you when you lose a baby. You know, people try to understand and compare it to losing their parents, and don't get me wrong, that is very hard as well, but you can't really compare the situation. People think, you know, your baby was just over 20 weeks, you know, your baby was under 24 weeks, another bugbear of mine, so he wasn't classed as a baby. We didn't get to register his birth, so when I'm no longer here, there's no official record of Findlay. You know, it's just so difficult. But that's why I like to talk about him, keep his memory alive. We include him in our family, everything we do. We have pictures. I'm very lucky to have my Rainbow, who'll be 3 this year. He was born 3 days before his big brother's first birthday, which again was very bittersweet. But he's made us smile again. He looks like his big brother, and he'll always know he's a rainbow baby and his big brother's looking out from him up in heaven. And all through my rainbow pregnancy, prior to being pregnant, and then all through my rainbow pregnancy, I seen Jenny, a counsellor at Sans Lothians. Amazing lady, amazing. She kept me sane, I would say, which is a mean feat. Yeah. I seen her, I think it was every week for many months, and then I reduced it to fortnightly because I was back to work and things. But at that time with Jenny, you know, just to know what I was feeling was normal. You know, I was pregnant again. Everybody else thought, oh, that's fine, everything will be okay now, you can have another baby, you'll be cured. Doesn't work like that. No other baby, as much as I love Cameron, my Rainbow, he doesn't replace Findlay. I would never want him to replace Findlay. I'm a mother of 2. I always will be, unless I have any more. But, you know, it's so hurtful when people don't acknowledge him. I read a post on Facebook the other day as well, judgmental people because it was a termination for medical reasons. Basically, it wasn't personally about me, it was a post about someone else saying you don't have right to grieve, you aborted your baby. It's absolutely disgusting, you know, but these things really hurt and it makes you question again, you know, there's always going to be what ifs. But we know we did the right thing for Findlay through love. You know, there was just no option for us really. To hear that our baby would have suffered otherwise, we just couldn't have made any other decision at that time. We knew he wouldn't live, so, you know, broken hearted, but I'm here today thanks to Sans Lothians basically.